So here we have Thormun with lots of details. His hammer has some little stuff on
Runes on it, yeah.
His weapons and belt and other things have symbols. He even has a hairy chest.
Oh, man.
He's got a crown and eye patch. The figure, you can see the blue eye.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's like horns coming out of the fur. He's got gold wings covering his regular black wings. And on the figure, you can actually see... Oh, you can see him here too a little bit. You can see little symbols on the metal.
Yep.
Which, I don't know what they say, but it'd be cool to find out. And he's got a gun. And some hairy arms. But he kind of looks like Santa.
I see what you're getting at.
Viking Santa. Oh, and he has some, like, kraken tentacles on his armor, too.
Yeah.
So he's got a whole lot of little cool stuff about him. And he's a brand new type of character in several different ways.
Oh,
but
yeah.
we're going to read his lore real quick. It has been over 70 years since Thormun last drank from the wellspring. So he hasn't been drinking from the wellsprings like the others, but... And yet the nightmares persist, so the negatives are still around. So he probably should have been drinking. In them, he sees himself as a young Kyrie, kneeling beside the frigid waters of the tarn of Volsunga, cupping his hands to drink a draught that would change Valhalla's fate forever. He sees the wellspring tainted, with crimson poison spreading across the surface, a wolf jaws dripping, red-eyed serpents writhing through his dreams. Valhalla's vast and encroaching doom. So he's seeing all this, and we know the pirates had ships that had ruby-eyed serpents that were killed on them. And we know people are getting poisoned from the well springs.
Yeah.
And that's all in his lore right here. That he's seeing visions of it. So when he wakes, he prepares for his final day on Valhalla. By the time he is done, the Valkyrie will not suffer him to live, but he has already sacrificed everything else. His eye, his family, and his closest friendships have all been taken by war. He has lived long enough to watch Valhalla burn, and to see his former friends corrupted by the waters he discovered. If they will not end this war on their own, then he will end it for them, and history will thank him. He dons his coat, his armor, his amulet, and strides onto the deck of the Golden Flame. So his ship's the Golden Flame. And don means puts all that on, so he was putting it on, not taking it off. But he has an amulet, which we've heard about amulets' powers recently. Many of the off-worlders in the Widow's fleet would never have trusted a former Valkyrie to care for their interests or secure their passage home. But they carried out his written plans over the months of their mission, and now have received a final wave of enchanted bottles with his last orders: distract and keep a wide berth of the Golden Flame. The enchanted bottles they're talking about are in the lore earlier, where these bottles were floating through the sea, sending a message, and nobody knew who they were coming from for the pirates' orders for what they would do.
Yep.
And they were floating all over the place. The fleet drifts away from his flagship, but the ruby-eyed vipers painted on the side of the viper's blood gives him pause. When he dreamt of drinking from a tainted spring, jaws bloody, was it a vision of wellsprings, corrupting power, or the poison he would one day supply? He is out of time to ponder this. After a lifetime of restraint, today he will ascend into the full power of Valkyrie one last time, to send the off-worlders home and destroy the wellsprings once and for all. So he's going to start drinking from the wellsprings again, and even if he dies, he's going to try to end the war. So, right now he sounds like the good guy.
Trying to send everyone home and be at peace.
Revna sort of sounds like she's been doing the same thing, but...
And then death!
but that's what this guy's talking about. And here you can see those symbols better on his wings and whatnot. He looks like a top Kyrie for sure.
Definitely.
Now, I think, based on what his size looks like, he looks like he's probably about the same size as other Kyrie, but just bigger wings. He could maybe be a tiny bit bigger, but since he hasn't been drinking from the springs, I think if there were any other Valkyrie to be shown later in the game, they'd probably be even bigger than that. Maybe.
Medium 6, yeah.
But so here's a new thing, unaffiliated, which is a yellowish gold, like pirate gold.
And that symbol unaffiliated.
And he's from Valhalla. And that's Thormun's symbol. So, it's kind of funny that you're using Thormun's symbol that's unaffiliated, but because that would mean you're affiliated with Thormun. But anyway, oh yeah, he's the first Valkyrie in the game, so that's a new thing. He's an admiral again. He's Door and medium 6. But Pirate King also makes him a pirate captain and king, which also makes him the first king in the game. Meaning the baby dragons can bond with him too. Obviously he goes with the pirates.
Yeah.
Well, with all those other classes. But he could, if he wanted, he could go with the baby dragons too. Just as another option. But he has 8 life, which is 1 less than the most in the game.
Yep.
I think maybe one figure has 8 life, but like Krug maybe. But he has 5 move with flying, which makes him fast.
Yes.
He has 5 range, which is a decent range, and normal attack and defense for 180 points. So far, doesn't look like much, but if you add Swashbuckler, after attacking with Thormun, you may attack one additional figure, one additional time. Thormun's attack value is increased by 2, so he can shoot at 3 attack 5 range, and then he can hit somebody for 5 up close with his hammer.
Yep.
And if you're above somebody, that's an attack of 4 and then an attack of 6. So very high attack, and number of attacks is higher than some others. Then he has Ragtag Armada, which is the most versatile power in the game, probably. After revealing an order marker on him, before taking a turn with him, you may place a gold command marker on an army card of another hero you control to immediately take a turn with that hero before you take a turn with him. You may not place a command marker on the army card of a figure with the same affiliation, which would be like Utgar, Vidar, Ular. The generals are the affiliation. So you may not place a command marker on the card of a figure that shares the same affiliation as a hero you control that already has a command marker on it that you bonded with him. At the end of the round, remove all of your command markers. So basically, if turn 1 you use someone who follows Utgar, then the next the next 2 turns, you wouldn't be able to bond with someone who follows Utgar, but you could use someone else, like unaffiliated or Jandar, Ulla, or Einar. There's so many different ones. So, and the pirates are from so many different generals that you could still have him in a pirate army and bond with lots of them. But the cool thing about this is if the figure count in a tournament is very low, that makes him all the better because you don't need very many. Plus, he's actually pretty good against common armies, I think, too. But he ends up being, I mean, you could bond him with someone who hits hard, like Krug or Subakna. You could bond him with Cyprian. All of a sudden, Cyprian becomes a lot more valuable. Just have Sonya in the background, too, if you want. And
I like that.
So Cyprian could go around and Thormun at the same time.
Ooh, I gotta try that definitely out.
You could do Sonlin, the new one, that hits hard in melee and shoots a range attack, and then he hits hard melee and has a range attack in the same turn, and Sonlin can heal. You could use Raylan to bond just to have some extra defense for everybody, or Kelda who can heal. You could use him to shoot and hit, and then Kelda to heal him and make him live longer. You could bond him with Q11 or 10 or 9 and have some serious ranged components, or Savaris. Have some really good range components doing what they do, because they're already good on their own, and now you're bonding them with this guy, taking 2 attacks in a turn a lot of the time. So you're basically making the best units that are on their own even better, because you can bond them with someone who can attack heavy twice with range in one of the attacks, who's fast and who lives really long. And also, if you get this pack with him and the Kraken, there's a boss battle in there, which is cool. But anything you want to say about Thormun?
I mean, kind of, he's like our first, like, kind of like boss hero in a way, especially with the.
Yeah, so he's the first Valkyrie and the first boss battle. He's the first. He's a new first for a lot of things.
Yeah. I love his art. It looks cool. I mean, the figure looks really good as well. The only thing I would say is that I wish the camera was a little longer so it had more reach, because it looks like kind of short on him. But maybe that's just...
Well, yeah, but he doesn't want too heavy of a hammer since he's shooting with the other hand and using that.
Pistol looks very nice on him. And the art
and
of his
actually,
car looks magnificent.
If you think about it, he's so big that hammer is probably pretty big.
That's true.
But yeah, he looks awesome. So this is something everyone should get for their collection for sure.
Yeah, so I would agree.
Yeah, if you get him.
Part of the lore, part of the history. He's really good.
He's a new for a lot of things.
Yeah, so.
And if you get him, then you also get the Kraken.
The Kraken.
Which is the first 2-life unique huge squad.
This will be interesting.
So here's all the lore. I'll turn it. And there's, and it's a squad of 5 that has 2 life each. That's huge. So that is pretty awesome. But it says, Captain Fiabani stands on the deck of the Void Wing with Killian Vane beside her, watching the golden flame anchored in the distance. She waits, arms crossed, for the signal. You don't have to do it, says Killian. That is if you don't or you aren't wanting to. At the prow of the ship, Thormun extends a hand to her. It is time. Killian claps her on the shoulder. Good luck. And if you drag us down to the watery grave, well, Davy Jones, have mercy on us. She grips the rail with both hands, closes her eyes, and concentrates. She makes no sound. No one has escaped her since she emerged from the void. She remembers sailing in the Devil's Triangle when her ship seemed to fall over the edge of the world into a vast emptiness that swallowed the sun. The void was both blackest black and alive, with colors beyond comprehension at the same time. It expanded in all directions, pulsing and breathing as if sentient. A vast dark ocean humankind was never meant to see. There were creatures there as big as islands drifting past, watching her with thousands of eyes. Though Einar eventually pulled her from that eternal dark, her voice never returned. But they do not call her Void Siren for her voice. Her thoughts ripple across the surface of the ocean, quieting the waves to stillness as she beckons the void to rise. First comes blooms of black and purple light beneath the surface, then the great plumes of water. Massive red tentacles erupt from the sea. Thormun shouts across the waves as the Kraken rises, vast and unstoppable, and it surges up to meet him. Fia signals for Dorum to loose the sails, and the Void Wing skims away across the ocean. The Kraken has been released. It will splinter ships, fortresses, armies, anything that stands between Thormun and the end of the war. Now with these figures, I get why it's breaking ships to pieces, but it would have been probably cooler if it wasn't all over those. Maybe the anchor one would have been fine, but
yeah, I said the anchor. It's
kind of weird. It's cool if you're in the water or you put it with the ship or whatever. But if you're in a random battle and you just have those, it's like
Yeah,
that's
the
odd.
2 on the ends, I agree. The 1 3 in the middle, those are pretty good though. Even with
Yeah.
Anchor, right? Anchor's like, oh, I got stuck on him.
But we have another unaffiliated Thormun symbol. These are huge 11, so they're going to be really tall. Like, those are probably big single bases, and they're freaking massive on them. It's the Kraken, Unique Squad, Monster, Unfathomable. You could actually make, since it's a unique squad, you could make it into a pirate with that other Crimson Widow. And then its attack would be 4 instead of 3.
Oh, there you go.
Which it already has 2 life and basic stats, except slower move, but it can teleport, so still pretty normal move. But yeah, you could give 5 figures with 2 life, 4 attack. That might be even better than the bears to have as a pirate. But anyway, so warp space, instead of moving normally with one of the Kraken figures, you may place that figure on an empty space within 4 of where it's at. If it is engaged when it starts, it will take a leaving engagement, so it doesn't disengage, but 1 figure per turn can teleport 4 spaces, just like the Kraken Link. Command the Kraken once per round. Instead of taking a turn with the unique or unfathomable hero you control, you may take a turn with the Kraken instead. Once per round, instead of taking a turn with a unique or unfathomable hero you control, you may. I wonder if... So when the Jelry... Oh no, that's not bonding anyway. Well, whatever. If you had a turn on the Krakenling and it only has 1 life left, you could just decide to take a turn with the Kraken and like a Jelry, Krakenling, Kraken army.
There we go.
But and it's unfathomable, so it can be moved by the Jelry freely when they do their 4 possible turns, 4 move in the beginning of that. Also, it's doesn't matter that it's slow because it has Summon the Kraken. It doesn't start on the battlefield after revealing an order marker on a unique or unfathomable hero you control, which could be the Kraken Ling, it could be Thormun, or just anything else that you happen to have this with, like Crimson Widow or whatever. But it doesn't start on the battlefield, but that means it ends up being kind of in the right height places mid-battle, which is nice. So its speed is actually good, and its survivability is good, and you get 5 activations potential with it, with all those 5 figures. So, overall for 100 points, that's pretty good. And there's a lot of different armies you can throw it in that it can do solid with. And, yeah. And it came with Thormun, so...
It's like the ultimate pack.
Yeah.
If you think about it. You only need to get it once, and it's pretty awesome.
Yep.
Unless you want to get multiple unpainted, because you want to pay them different all the time.
And yeah, if you don't want to spend a lot of money, but you want something competitive, maybe that's the box to get. Because you only need to get it once. So
I think it's pretty cool.
All right. Anything else to say?
No, I think it's gonna. I got a feeling they're gonna be bigger than what I even think. Even though it says huge 11, I'm just still gonna be impressed how big they are.
Yeah.
What's happened?
Yeah, they're gonna be taking over the battlefield.
Giant tentacles.
That's all, folks.
Bye.